so much, Mr. Ahmed and Mr. Srinivas, for that really riveting conversation. We would like to thank our partners and our sponsors who have played a pivotal role in shaping this event, starting with our theme partner, WhatsApp, our co-powered by partner, Amazon Pay, our spend management partner, Encash, our in association with partner, Perfios, our payments partner, Cash Free Payments, our CEO's dinner partner, HSBC. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have been engulfed by the ease and convenience of the usage of digital means of payments, which bring transfer of funds at our fingertips and now have been available to a larger section of consumers. Next up, we have an important launch of a white paper on a very captivating topic, which is really relevant to India's economy right now, which is about how digital payments drive financial inclusion in India. And for this white paper launch, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Rajeeth Pillai, Chief Relationship Management and Marketing, NPCI. And joining him on stage is Mr. Sunil Bhat, Associate Partner, Digital Financial Services, Payments and Distribution, MicroSave Consulting. So can we give them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Can we now launch this really relevant white paper, which is on how digital payments drive financial inclusion in India? Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. It's a very significant milestone filled with a lot of insights and experiences and expertise on how digital payments is driving financial inclusion in India. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Pillai and Mr. Bhat. On this note, I'd like to invite Mr. Rajeeth Pillai, Chief Relationship Management and Marketing at NPCI, to say a few words about it. There you go, sir.
Is this working? Is this working? Okay. First of all, welcome all.
This is happening in a white paper launch, so requesting you to all settle down. Anuj, in one of the chairs, I've forgotten my...
Okay, first of all, welcome all to this global fintech fest, which is India's or the largest across this country, this part of the world, in fact. And NPCI is proud to host it to the fullest extent. Today, in case we talk about superpowers, we have all heard about superpowers in terms of defense. We've heard superpowers in terms of economical power. But in case we have to draw a parallel and rank the superpower for digital payment landscape, it will be only India who will be standing tall compared to even the Western countries. We have moved from a paper-based age to the digital payment world in the past 7 to 8 years. Gone are the days of telegraphic transfers or CMS clearings. 7 days of metro cities for a clearing, 21 days for a non-metro, and infinite waiting for remote areas. It all started with CTS and NFS, and then came the mother of all, the IMPS, followed by APS that changed millions of lives in the lower spectrum of the society. And now, the father of all digital payments, the UPI. This digital revolution is led by collaborative efforts from the ecosystem, including the government, the regulators, the financial service providers, the banks, the fintechs, and these efforts can be seen through the launch of PMJDY, Aadhaar, the India Stack, the differentiated infrastructure, the small finance banks, and the payment banks. NPCI has been at the center of this remarkable journey and has made significant efforts to build an open and secure digital ecosystem, leading to a path breaking digital payment solutions being offered to the masses. We have enabled the public and private sectors to drive innovations, improve the service delivery, and build a variety of user centric digital payment solutions. This white paper has been made in partnership with MicroSave Consulting to showcase the role of digital payments in driving financial inclusion in India. This white paper highlights that India's payment systems are dependable, durable, and successfully accepted by the masses. This document provides evidence backed insights on the evolution of digital payments in India and the different barriers and triggers in the state of play for the service providers and the users. It also covers critical use cases that can lead the trajectory of the change towards digital payments for the mass market and the collaboration needed from the different stakeholders. We hope you will find it relevant and meaningful. Please connect back for further conversations or insights on how we can deepen India's digital footprint. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pillai, for rendering that clarity about the white paper. Now, to actually elucidate and demystify the different facets of this topic called how digital payments drive financial inclusion in India and get into more specifics, I'd like to call upon stage Mr. Sunil Bhat, Associate Partner, Digital Financial Services, Payments and Distribution at MicroSave Consulting. So a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here, and it's really a pleasure to be here. And hats off to the organizers of this event. No doubt, in the corridors, people are making parallels with the Singapore FinTech Festival. So I think really great. So I represent MicroSave Consulting, and I am here to speak about this white paper, and I represent my team here. On the outset, I would like to thank NPCI for their guidance and for their support in terms of providing support to launch this white paper. I would also like to thank RBI, DFS, and NPCI for their extensive data repository, which has helped us to derive rich insights in this report. And last but not the least, I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for funding this study. Right. So the payments vision document, which came out from RBI in 2021, it had a lot of focus on access, right? And the payments vision document, which came out in 2025, it had focus on the 4 E's, which were essentially e-payment for everyone, everywhere, and every time. And this document has been the core motivation for us to come up with this white paper. Yeah. Yeah. So this pyramid is quite familiar to many of us. So this is the income pyramid of for the Indian population, right? And we are talking of 130 crores of population. And if you see, largely the population is divided into 5 different segments. So elite, affluent, aspirers, strugglers, and ultra poors, right? So the top 2 are the ones who have all kinds of services, right? So they are the people who I may say are spoiled for choice in terms of access to financial services, in terms of access to any products which have to be offered. But when it comes to the bottom 3, aspirers, strugglers, and ultra poor, that's where we face a lot of challenge, right? So this white paper focuses a lot on this segment. So this segment is fondly called as the Bharat segment, or the low and middle income segment, or the low and moderate income segment in a few markets. And if you look at India itself, right, so this is a 1 billion strong population. Even if I kind of rule out the ultra poor segment, which has a level of deeper challenges, the aspirers and the strugglers continue to command around 60 crores, and that's the market which a lot of fintechs, banks, financial service providers are targeting, right? And if you see, they have their own challenges. They have their challenges with respect to the kind of the kind of UI and UX. The ultra poor segment also lacks digital payments, and they do not trust the digital payments as much as we want them to do. And these are some of the challenges with which fintechs are kind of struggling with. And a core of this report is kind of focused on how to innovate for this particular segment, right? So yeah, so moving on to the next slide. So what kind of hinders innovation here? So if you see, there are 3 kinds of challenges or barriers which you see. So one is the customer level barriers, one is the provider level barriers, and the ecosystem level barriers, right? So the white paper also gets into the details on what each of these barriers are. To kind of briefly take you through, so customer level barriers. So cash. So I think cash is one of the major deterrents, I would say. So if you look at the demonetization, and now the cash has grown at a phenomenal rate. 32 trillion rupees is what the cash in circulation is. It's like an all-time high, and cash continues to be like a favorite of many of these LMI segment. So how do you kind of break this habit, right? Limited awareness, right? This is also something which LMI segment populations are dealing with. Close to 90% of India's population is digitally illiterate, right? And if you look at vulnerable segments such as women or old age people, there are only about 60% of people who have used internet. So if you look at the access itself, right? So the gender gap is almost 0 in terms of the number of bank accounts opened between male and female. But if you look at the usage, right, the gender gap is again 17%. So that's quite high for a country like India. So the report also gets into the details of how to kind of manage this gap. If you look at the provider level barriers, you see one of the most important challenge is one size fits all kind of an approach. So this essentially means I design a product for an urban segment, and I hope and pray that the same product will sell in the rural areas, which never happens, right? So we have like hundreds of thousands of segments. You divide it as per age, as per income, as per population, as per geography. So some level of customization is required, which doesn't happen, and that's why a lot of fintechs also fail. Lack of responsiveness with respect to the GRM. The GRM is the grievance redressal management. So that's also something which is really kind of a pain, because if you look at the kind of GRM which is available for people, like nested IVR loops, like extremely difficult for a neo-literate or a number literate guy to get into it, right? So it's very, very difficult. Non-responsive customer care. So all this kind of reduces their experience and kind of dissuades them from using digital payments. And if you look at ecosystem level barriers, so there is an excessive dependence on internet for all the innovations that we see. So if you look at the TRI data, it says 83% is the teledensity in India. But if you kind of come to the rural segments or the non-urban segments, it reduces. It's close to 60% or below. So how long can we kind of depend on internet, right? So NPCI has thankfully come out with a lot of solutions wherein people can access digital payments without using internet. So that's, I think, is great. Also, the other one is limited acceptance infrastructure. So if you look at the POS machines itself, the ratio of POS to per million population, so we are still lagging behind countries like an Indonesia or a country like UK, right? So we are far behind. So that needs to improve. And also cash in cash out network, Kiko network, right? So the recent report which came out from RBI May last year, it says 3.3 million BC agents is what we have, both including traditional agents as well as new age agents. But are these people really doing their job? Are these people really sustainable? Are the service providers really solving their problems? That's something we need to see. And the report also talks in details about this, because if the last mile has to be kind of pushed to use digital financial services, so these people, the agents, play kind of a major role. So what do you see? Like when you look at these kind of scenarios and the kind of products which NPCI has come out with, so I think it's really commendable. So below your screen, you can see some of the products which NPCI has come out with, mainly for this LMI segment population. So here we have Aadhaar-based payments like AEPS, right? So the role that AEPS played during the pandemic for people to facilitate the withdrawal of their direct benefit transfers, it was really hats off to that innovation from NPCI. Similarly, Bhim Aadhaar Pay, right? So it's again a merchant version of AEPS. And if you see the growth of Bhim Aadhaar Pay, like 70% has been the CAGR growth for the last 5 years. UPI, when you look at the contactless payments, right, I don't have to speak about UPI. 6.57 billion transactions like last month. Month on month, it's increasing at a very, very rapid pace, right? And you have all the third-party players, the Phone Pays, the Google Pays, who are kind of leaders in UPI. BBPS with more than 20,000 billers. I think BBPS is sort of revolutionizing the entire bill payment structure in India, right? Again, 73% has been the CAGR growth here. And finally, the RuPay card, right? The homegrown card solution in India. It's the low-cost version. So you have seen the kind of competition it's giving to the likes of Visa and MasterCard, right? If you just look at the debit card, the market share, about 60% is what RuPay commands. So these are some of the solutions which NPCI has come out with, and which are really proud for India. And UPI is kind of followed. It's like the global leader. Like IMPS was, now UPI is kind of a global leader. A lot of delegations are coming to just kind of visit and understand how this was done. I think it's great. So the report also talks in detail about some of the recommendations, right? And I'll not get into the details of this. So what is required in terms of driving innovation for the LMI segment? And there are things like creating awareness, creating a positive experience for users, so that people can use digital payments without much anxiety. A capability to trust digital payments. I think trust is one of the major factors which is sort of pushing a lot of segments away. And acceptance infrastructure, I already spoke about it. Even though it's growing at a very rapid pace, still compared to the population that we have, it's kind of still lagging behind. And also building a collaborative ecosystem is like very, very important. And the kind of platforms which you see are coming up, the super apps, the Open, the ONDC. So all these are a result of extensive collaboration, right, between multiple parties. So this slide essentially speaks about the kind of expanse that NPCI has seen as a vision for country. So like if you see the top 4 solutions: card, debit cards, credit cards, mobile wallets, and UPI. So this is mainly for people who belong to the top 2 or 3 segments in India. But for the bottom segments, people who don't use internet or smartphone, NPCI has also been like thoughtful in terms of innovation. UPI 123 Pay just launched recently. I think it's going to make a lot of strides for the 40 crore feature phone users in India. APS, I spoke about RuPay cards and Bhima Aadhaar Pay. So these kind of solutions really, talk about the inclusive nature of NPCI and how they want to take the entire LMI population and the entire Indian population together when it comes to digital payments, so that digital divide can be reduced. Otherwise, we'll face a situation wherein only a few million population will be using like a majority of digital payments. So that's something which even the RBI doesn't want, right? When you look at the 4E kind of a framework. So yeah, so I leave you with this final slide, which talks about the journey of digital payments over the last few years. And if you see the names on this slide, right? So it has been a collaboration by multiple players: the Government of India, the Department of Financial Services, the Finance Ministry, and not the least, last but not the least, National Payment Corporation of India. So all these put together in collaboration with the various private parties have been able to kind of put together the numbers which we are kind of currently seeing, and we must be really proud of this kind of an achievement. So with this, I leave you with the last slide, which which is the title of the report, and I hope that you take a chance to go through this very important report, and which kind of talks about the innovation for the LMI segment and how it can be done at scale. So once again, I would like to thank NPCI for their guidance and support, and thanks for having us. Thank you very much. Thanks.